Well, here we are. This is the fifth alternator in here. I have one OE one here, Ford Reman, that was directly from the dealer. Mind you guys, I am a dealer, and I'm not talking crap about the dealer, but this is just the reality of what we deal with. This is from the dealer. The one in the trunk that I showed you last night is from the dealer. I just sent two back with AutoZone, and we ordered another one from Napa to see, but my parts guy got the same one that we had from Duralast Gold. I wanted a Napa Premium instead. Installed that. At least the aftermarket ones are charging the vehicle. The OE ones won't even charge the vehicle. It just sits here and surges between 12.2 and 12.8 constantly. At least the OE ones, the lights and everything are stable. It's not surging or anything. The problem is, this is my fifth alternator, and the computer doesn't like how it's communicating. So, it has charge light on, charge light on, charge light on. I'm gonna go through 10 alternators before I get one that's compatible with this car. This is what's been going on for like over 20 years with the mid-2000 cars. I had the same thing happen on a GT500 from 07, a Ford Escape, an 04 Ford 500. Went through 7 alternators before I got one good one, and now here we are with an 03 Town Car going through the same thing all over again, and nobody paying for the labor. Well, I got a Napa Premium one in, so now we can go ahead and install Napa Premium in it and see if that does any better than the alternator that came from AutoZone or Duralast Gold. We did 2 AutoZone Duralast Golds, a 4G and a 6G conversion, and then 2 OE ones that didn't work. And then we did a Duralast that somehow I think they ended up getting through AutoZone or Napa. I'm not sure if Napa can also carry this as well. But then I actually asked them, no, I want a Power Premium one from Napa, and let's try that in here and see if that regulator talks to the car better. So let's throw that on here and see what happens. All right, let's see what we got. We got the Napa Power Plus in there, or Napa Premium Plus, Napa Power Premium Plus. Let's see what that does. Fingers crossed, people, fingers crossed. No charge light. $14 volts. Lights are not flickering. This is the one I put on my town car when the OE one went out when I bought it like 3 years ago. It was the same one as this, except the newer updated model. No charge light. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my God. No freaking charge light. Wow. 6 alternators later. Amazing. Now that it's been running for about 10-15 minutes, everything's kind of regulated down to about 13.5. Battery's full charge, everything's stable. No charge light, no nothing. Computer's communicating just fine. Let it roll. I don't believe this shit, man. Like, we're still dealing with this stuff today. You know, 20 years later, since they first initially started seeing all these problems. It is a freaking nightmare. And, you know, as a technician, you have to try to figure out, you know, if Ford declines any type of responsibility for this, how do you tell the customer that they're on the hook for all the hours that you had into diagging and replacing fucking alternator after alternator after all? Excuse my mouth. It's frustrating because it's not the customer's fault at all, but it's not my fault either. What if Ford says, that ain't our problem, we're not helping you guys out? Now we go and enjoy a ride in this beautiful piece of work. This machine. This lovely, 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 lovely machine. 140,000 miles on it. Sounds and looks like it's brand new. No charge light, no nothing. We ride. If you notice when I was showing you guys the alternator, you can see my ground cable upgrade. So please check in the library if you're interested in doing the ground cable upgrade to your Lincoln Town Car, Mercury Grand Marquis, or your Interceptor. That ground upgrade from one of the studs over to the negative battery post really, really helps out in the long run, and it adds a really good additional ground to the system. She's running good, real good. Looks like we might have a turn signal light out. Might have to possibly address that. Well, the customer is pretty handy, and he does like doing some of his own work, so we'll see. Alright, I know what's going on with the turn signal now. I just got out and I looked, and it's LEDs. It's hyper flashing because of the LED lights. So I'll leave that alone and let the customer deal with that. Charge lights out. I put about 8 miles on it, and everything is running absolutely perfect. So we now are done with it. We parked the vehicle. We let the customer come get their vehicle, and we see how Ford wants to proceed with this, because this is not the customer's fault. The OE alternators don't work. The AutoZone ones were not working, and the Napa Power Premium Plus or Premium Power Plus did work. And we all know what this spans from. It's an issue that happened back in early to mid 2000s, where engineering and programming were not good on the aftermarket side, and they were not good on the OE side. I've heard some stories. I don't know exactly. I can't say exactly what the reason is. I don't know if the story is actually true, but the story I heard is the gentleman that created the programming and stuff, that engineered the programming for the regulators in a lot of those alternators back then, was a Ford engineer. And I guess there was some kind of falling out, or he left or something like that, and he took a lot of that data set and stuff with him. That's the information that's kind of being passed around, and that's one of the issues that I've been told. One of the main reasons why people still can't get the programming and stuff for these regulators right today, that you got to keep going through alternator after alternator after alternator, and finally you'll get a good one. This has been an experience on this. You know, the first time I experienced this was in 2016. Like I said, I've spoke about this many times on the channel. I'll say it again. It's a 2004 Ford 500. It came in, put an OE alternator on it. The charge light wouldn't go out, but it was still charging. And then I switched over to another OE. It's charging, but the charge light won't go out. And then I went to a third OE. Charge light's on, it's charging, and the charge light won't go out. And then Ford Hotline says, we're going to send you a couple Delphis, but you got to swap, I think it was pins 1 and 3 with the Delphi, because the control circuit and the communication circuit is different. Or the monitor circuit and the control circuit is different on the Delphis. So you get an updated connector and you swap the 2 wires. It was charging fine, but the charge light won't go out. And when I went with 3 of those and sent them pictures to confirm that I did have the wires hooked up correctly, and they kind of wanted to reconvene and go back to the drawing table and just kind of talk about what was going on and figure out where to go next. And in the meantime, I got tired of everything that was going on, and I ran down to AutoZone and I put an AutoZone Gold alternator in it, and the charge light went out and everything was charging fine. The second time I dealt with that problem was a year ago on the channel here. You can see, if you look up GT500, just type in Ford Boss Me GT500, you can see how I put an AutoZone alternator in like an 07 GT500, charge light wouldn't go out. We didn't have access to an OE one, and it was like on back order with no ETA. So then I put another AutoZone alternator in it. Again, charge light won't go out. and it wasn't charging very good on either one of them. We got a Napa one, but the Napa one was dropped and there was a hole in the box, so we had to pull apart the back half of the case, re-shim the back of it where that plastic bushing and stuff is, and bend the fins in that draw in air to keep the alternator cool so it would stop rubbing the inside of the case. Put everything back together, reinstalled it, and that did start charging the vehicle, and the charge light went out, and the customer's been happy ever since then. This has been a fiasco since early to mid 2007, and it's a problem that we've consistently run into. So when I started at this dealership, the Trends Tech said, yeah, I had an old Escape from back in the day where I had to put 5 alternators in it before I got a good one. And then one of the main engine guys here, he said, do you know how many of these I've done? I've probably done a dozen of them where I've had to go through 3 or 4 alternators before I've got a good one, all mid-2000. In Expeditions, Escapes, Mustangs, Town Cars, Crown Vics, Ford 500s. It was just a very, 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 very bad time for how the regulators are programmed to talk to the OE computers. And sometimes the regulators and the OE stuff, the OE ones are the worst. They're so bad that it can cause the drivers to go out in the PCM and really mess up the PCM, and that was the case in this one. The OE ones were really wreaking havoc on the control circuit and stuff here, and it really did a number on the PCM. So I had to put a new PCM in this car and then retry with the new remanufactured OE ones, and I could tell right away that they were causing some issues with the computers. So I shut it down immediately and said, nope, I'm not doing OE. Let's go aftermarket. They tried 3 from AutoZone. None of them worked. Tried the 6G conversion. That didn't work from AutoZone. So it was 2 4G OE ones, OE style ones from AutoZone Gold. And then I tried the conversion with the 6G by flopping the 2 wires like the Delphis. That didn't work. It would charge, but the charge light wouldn't go out. And then I said, you know what, give me a Napa Premium one. I want a Napa Premium one for this car, and let's put that on it and see, let's try a different one. And I noticed the case of the Napa was actually, all the molding points and stuff were closer to the original ones from back in the day. And I noticed that it was a lot quieter and it was a lot smoother when it brought the regulator online and the charge light was out right away. Another part, just to add a little bit to this, when I bought my town car 3 years ago, it was sitting back here in the corner in the tree line, and I gave nothing for the car because it was going to go to auction. And I've put over 50,000 miles on that car, and it runs like brand new. The day I bought it, I made it about 25 miles into my drive home, the alternator went out. Very next day, I went to Napa, and I got a Napa Premium Plus alternator, put it on the car, never had a charge light come back on again. Customer can come pick up their vehicle. I'm trying to put Ford on the hook for this and not the customer. Let's just see what happens. Y'all be blessed. Thank you for walking through these crazy, chaotic stories and stuff. And I hope through me dealing with these things every day, some of you that are independent shop owners and are on the aftermarket side, and some of you builders and manufacturers out there will learn from this stuff to see what the independent side and the dealer side, what we have to go through to get these vehicles back on the road. When some of you think that we're crazy and we're missing steps and we're misdiagnosing things, it's literally as chaotic as we say it is with parts in general on the OE side and on the aftermarket side. But then again, the aftermarket is what refurbishes the OE stuff. It's whoever gets the contract. Y'all be blessed. Take care, and thank you for watching this video. And if you haven't seen the previous videos that led up to this, please go in the library and just type in 2003 Town Car. Have fun. I love y'all. Take care.